One of the areas where you are, we understand, going to try and claw back money who's people who've been signed off because of mental health problems. Now, in the last few days, it's interesting. The prominent neurologist, Suzanne O'Sullivan, has said there's overdiagnosis of mental health problems. Your colleague Liz Kendall, when she was here, talked about the problems of self-diagnosis when people feel that they might have a condition. Do you believe, as the Health Secretary, that too many people are being treated as sick and incapable of work for essentially struggling with what are quite normal feelings?
Well, I want to follow the evidence, and I agree with that point about overdiagnosis. But here's the other thing. I mean, mental well-being, illness, it's a spectrum, right? And
but you do think there's overdiagnosis?
I think there's an overdiagnosis, but also there are too many people being written off. And to your point about treatment, there's too many people who just aren't getting the support they need. So if you can get that support to people much earlier, then you can help people to either stay in work or to get back to work. And that's why we're recruiting 8,500 more mental health staff to make sure we can get the waiting list down. And also starting early, so making sure we've got mental health support in every primary and secondary school in the country, so we can give people that resilience and those coping skills they'll need for life.
But you do believe there's a problem with overdiagnosis. What then would your message then be to medical professionals watching this? Should they take more care to diagnose mental health conditions? What would you say to them?
To an extent, but I also think it's on us to make sure that we're giving people the tools to do the job, and that we've got the right care plans, the right pathways for patients. And that's why some of the great stuff that Liz and I have seen in Maudsley in South London, for example, where they've combined that employment support with mental health support can be really powerful. And to be honest, it feels a lot less scary and a lot less punitive than sometimes conversations with the DWP feel. And so that is having a real impact. I think
job centres are scary, do you think?
Job centres can be scary. And look, I think there are lots of people out there, and I meet people in my advice surgery today who, when they talk about their interactions with the state, not just DWP, but the state, it's quite reminiscent of the sorts of conversations my family were having in the 1980s. So I don't think enough has moved on in that respect.